Alrighty everyone, welcome back to another live severe weather coverage. I want to get started going over our severe thunderstorm warning where we do have some decently large hail to the northeast of Gwinnett. I believe this is in Montana, yes, okay. So some pretty large hail, quarter size, I'd say closer to $half size, maybe even isolated ping pong ball size. Unfortunately, radar coverage is not the best in this area, but it is still picking up on some very large hail where you see in the pinks and reds. So certainly not anything to play with. So if you are northeast of Gwinnett, Montana, or near the Charles M. Russell National Wildlife Refuge, be sure to seek shelter away from windows and get those cars into a shelter so that they don't see, they're not damaged. Because that could destroy your windshield, and that is not fun to have happen. So let me get the stream chat pulled up here really quick. Give me just a second. Sorry, stream was delayed quite a bit. Just wasn't quite ready to go live. Storms weren't really occurring. We don't have any tornado warnings quite yet, or tornado possibles. There are no tornadoes on the ground at the moment, but that should change soon. It looks like the microphone's having some feedback. So sorry if it's glitching or it sounds like a printer. You're sad they removed the marginal risk for your area. Are you talking about today or tomorrow? Because I saw tomorrow. Yesterday, Friday's risk was enhanced, but they downgraded it to a slight, I noticed. Oh, you're talking about today? Alright, yeah, they did drop the marginal for some areas, and they moved the enhanced further westward into portions of Montana. Actually, now's a good time to go over our risk while we're kind of in the easy part of the stream. So we'll turn this up. You can see in our brown areas that's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather. That's for portions of western Minnesota. Includes almost the entire state of North Dakota, except for a few areas like northwest, southwest, northeast. So most of North Dakota, all the large cities are included. Williston, Watford City, Dickinson, Bismarck, Jamestown, New Rockford, Grand Forks, Fargo. They are all in that enhanced risk. Now, we do not have a 10% tornado risk today because that would equal an enhanced risk. We just have a 5%, so that stretches from the North Dakota to Montana border and then again to the North Dakota and Minnesota border. And then Fargo is in that 2%, and that 2% tornado risk stretches into Montana near Forsyth. If you are just tuning in, please be sure to like the stream. It does help me out a lot. Donations are completely optional but greatly appreciated. They help me out a lot and show your support. The PayPal is the pinned message in chat. The link is not working, but if you go on PayPal and type at Mr. Twister YT, there are no spaces and capitals in that. That is completely optional but greatly appreciated. Everything helps out, even just watching, but liking, subscribing is completely free. So there's the PayPal. But getting back to coverage, we also have a damaging wind risk, which is what is driving our enhanced risk of severe weather. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So 30% hatch damaging wind risk stretching from Dickinson to near Fargo, and that 15% just goes a bit further westward and eastward from that. So that is the main threat today, and then we also could see some damaging large hail, particularly in western North Dakota and eastern Montana is the main area of concern for hail. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for eastern and portions of northeastern Montana. This is for another 6 hours and 31 minutes, or until 11 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. The primary threats with this include scattered damaging winds and isolated significant gusts to 75 miles an hour possible, scattered large hail and isolated very large hail events up to 2.5 inches in diameter are possible, and a tornado or two are also possible. Obviously, this is not the main area that we're watching for tornadoes. You can see storm chasers are positioned in western North Dakota. They're just waiting for storms to make the way into the state. It probably will be another hour or two before we start to see some of that action. Definitely an hour. I'd lean closer to 2 or 3. But I hope to be there when that does happen. So make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you are alerted when we start the next stream as well. But we should be on this one for a while, so don't go anywhere. And we're going to keep an eye on these storms. Okay, so they did drop that severe thunderstorm warning. They probably will issue another one for at least, I think, half dollar size hail. But I think we could see up to ping pong ball size. They just might not warn it for that because of the distance from the radar. Coverage isn't great out here in the mountains. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Just got to turn that off. But I'm still here. Okay. There we go. Alright, everything looks good for the stream. So, if you do have any questions for your location, feel free to drop a zip code or a state or a city in chat, and I will give you a forecast. But obviously our main focus is, oops, did not mean to do that, but obviously our main focus is Montana, the Dakotas, and Minnesota. But I'm happy to help for anywhere. I don't know why my microphone is making all these feedback noises. It sounds like a printer printing, like it's a weird static. So if that does bother you, turn your volume down a little bit. I think I just fixed it, but I do apologize about that. Not sure why it's happening. I might have a bad connection. Okay, so we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for that storm that I was just talking about, and they did go with the half dollar sized hail tag as I was anticipating, but I think we could see up to ping pong ball or golf ball size. So be sure to look out for damaging large hail. This storm is currently located about 50 miles to the west of Jordan, Montana, and it is heading towards the Charles M. Russell National Wildlife Refuge. I'm going to go ahead and share this stream out on the community tab. I encourage you all to share it as well with anyone in these areas that you know. I would appreciate it. Okay. So once again, today we're tracking a level 3 out of 5, enhanced risk of severe weather for areas like the Dakotas, Montana, and western Minnesota. Alright, I'm going to make this community post. Okay, that post has been made. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the live chat. Special weather statement west of Billings, Montana, just to the east of Big Timber. We do have some large hail just about 5 miles, 4.9 miles to the northwest of Reed Point. So that just crossed over Interstate 90. I doubt that would damage your windshield, but I wouldn't chance it. So be sure to get vehicles inside and obviously seek shelter away from windows. So this hail is approaching Monument Butte. It's going to go north of Reed Point, and then there aren't really other cities in the path for a while. It might go south of Rapidgel. Rapelge. I'm not sure how to say that. Rapelge. I think it's Rapelge. Let me know if you know how to pronounce that in the chat. But I will try my best to pronounce all those town names. This severe thunderstorm warning for the main storm that I would focus on right now expires in 55 minutes, so it is going to be in effect in a while. That's at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I believe this is hail contamination, because you can see they're in the same exact spot, but we could have a little bit of rotation, but I think that's just hail contamination, because you could see that they directly overlap each other on reflectivity and velocity. Hi Spin, yeah, I did make a Joplin tornado video. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Once again, for anyone just tuning in, we are live covering a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather. I'd appreciate it if you can like the stream, it helps out a lot. Yes, I do plan on making more like it. I made a Parkersburg one recently, I did a Moore one once, Rolling Fork, Tuscaloosa. I did both Moores, by the way. Spin, I do not have donations on through YouTube, but if you see the pinned message in chat, I do have a PayPal. It's at Mr. Twister YT, and the initials on it are KE, so let me know if you could find it. Yep, hail spike for sure, Sam. We were just talking about definitely could damage windshields and windows, so everybody needs to seek shelter away from windows in the path of this storm. I don't think we have rotation with it. It looks like a lot of radar contamination to me. Alright, thanks for your support, Spin, but keep in mind that is completely optional. It's just for people who want to go above and beyond. I will get a dono board set up here. Trying to fix this microphone feedback as well, but I don't know what the issue is. So, thanks for tuning in, Spin, Sam, Jog, WX. All of you guys are goats for watching the stream. Okay, there we go. So once again, if you are just tuning in, we do have a 5% tornado risk in effect today for portions of the northern United States. That includes the 5% tornado risk is only for North Dakota, but we could see tornadoes in eastern Montana, northern South Dakota, pretty much anywhere in North Dakota where we have a storm, and then western Minnesota. So if you do have any questions for your area, please be sure to let me know in the live chat. Just drop a zip code, a city, a county. What's the thumping noise? Oh, that's the keyboard. It's kind of loud. Here, I'll show you. Sorry about that. I could try to turn it down. That's just the only one I have. But it is the keyboard. I'll move the mic a bit away from the keyboard. We have a special weather statement to the west of Valentine, Nebraska. Got some decently large hail with that. What is... oh, that's my speed calculation tool. Also one for St. Francis. This is in... or east of St. Francis. This is in Kansas. Looks like we got a storm firing. Some small hail, heavy rain, lightning, and maybe some winds 40 to 50 miles an hour with it. Alright, so, but obviously my main focus right now are these two storms producing the large hail, particularly this one. This is what the warning's for, but I guess this one's also moving into the polygon. We might see a separate severe thunderstorm warning or special weather statement issued for that storm. Pick a number between 1 and 100. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Alright, ChatGPT went with 87. We are going to need to lock in here pretty soon because should be another hour and a half, 2 hours before we start seeing tornadoes. A lot of these storms are crossing the Montana, the northeast Montana, and northwest North Dakota. They're crossing into Canada. Hi Pete, thanks for tuning into the stream. Hope you're doing well. We're covering an enhanced risk of severe weather today. We're expecting a couple tornadoes in North Dakota, maybe an isolated strong one. Right now, just watching some large hail in east central Montana. It's not really heading for any population areas, but it is going towards the Charles M. Russell National Wildlife Refuge. The National Weather Service has warned this storm for half-dollar size hail, which is what I would assume for them to do because it is pretty far from the radar. But I believe we could see up to ping pong ball size. I just got a notice that due to fire weather conditions in my area, I may lose power. So if at any time the stream randomly cuts off, that is because here we're having extremely dry conditions, and if they shut off my electricity, I can't stream. I will be here as long as I can, though. So I'm going to start charging up all my stuff. Caleb WX, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning into the stream. How are you? Wow, we already have 9 likes this stream. Thanks for the support, everyone. I really appreciate it. And we also just recently hit 1,610 subscribers. But once again, I could lose electricity at any given moment. We just got an email that the city, for fire and stuff, might have to turn it off. So I'm going to go plug in a couple things just to get some juice just in case. Because the last time they said that, it was 31 hours without it. So I'll be right back, everyone. I'm doing well, Caleb. Thanks for asking. Okay. Got some stuff plugged in, but the stream will cut off itself if the power does go out. So that was certainly unexpected. But once again, we have no tornadoes on the ground at the moment, but we are expecting that to change pretty soon. Today is looking pretty potent, especially for large hail and damaging winds. We could see a MCS or QLCS, that's a quasi-linear convective system, kind of like a line of storms, but not quite as intense as a derecho, not as long tracking, but they could still cause very similar damage. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Pete, Caleb, Spin, Jog WX. Let's see who else we had. Top Fan was here before we started. Western Ohio WX. So thanks everyone for tuning in. The MCD in North Dakota is expired. Are you talking about the one that stretched into Montana, which ended up turning into this severe watch? Because by the time the North Dakota one expired, we should have had a watch. Let me check my phone. Because sometimes Radar Omega can be a bit behind. So it might not show up yet. Yep, waiting for storms to fire in western North Dakota. You can see we have Chaser's position. Aaron Jack is... Let's see which direction he's going. He should move his dot in a second. I'd assume he's going north. Okay. And lots of Chaser convergence here in Killdeer, North Dakota. You can see we got Freddie McKinney, Vince Walty, Tornado Pagey. So they are all waiting for storms to fire. Spin 87 is what ChatGPT said, but you don't have to donate anything. It's completely up to you what you do. It's completely optional, but I will appreciate anything. Your mom sent you... Wait, what? Caleb. My mom just sent me my schedule, but I didn't want to know it. That's a rip. I always want to know mine so I can see if I have classes with friends. I don't. I think I see... Well, I have like 3 good friends that I talk to at my school, and I have one class with 2 of them, and then with the other one I don't have any. Spin, it's completely up to you though. Don't feel pressured to or anything. It just helps out a ton. This storm thankfully is going to go north of Jordan, Montana, at least the further north one, which is the one this severe warning is for. But this one, I don't know, might go just to the east. All the teachers you have you don't want. Oh, well, I'm going into high school. I'm going to be a freshman, so it's a new school. So I'm not going to know, I don't know, like, the teachers. I mean, I've heard some stuff from some of my friends who are a bit older, but don't really know much. It's kind of nice to have your own perspective on teachers, because they can be nice, though. So this is kind of like the early chill part of the stream where you guys can just hang out. We're not really into severe weather coverage mode fully yet. We do have new severe thunderstorm warnings. We actually have a tornado possible tag on this storm. If there is rotation, it's very broad, and it is moving into Canada, but north of Rolla, North Dakota. This could be some rain and hail contamination. Let me know what you guys think in chat, but a tornado is definitely possible. You could see a little bit of rotation in there. First year of high school sucks. Don't expect it to be good. You just gotta make the best of it. I'm looking forward to like more freedom and stuff, you know. Definitely be better than middle school. Middle school is rough. Middle school was only 2 years for me. 7th and 8th. $11 likes. This stream is absolutely crazy. Thank you for all the support, everyone. I don't know if we've ever hit that many likes this early into a stream. Maybe only once or twice. At least I don't want to talk about likes all that much, but I really do appreciate it because it really means a lot. So we do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We don't do coverage for Canada, but today some of the storms are going to be going into Canada, so why not? We have some actually pretty strong thunderstorms north of North Battleford in Canada. I'm not sure which province this is. I don't know how Canada geography works. And lots of rainfall warnings up here near Hudson Bay. I think it's not Manitoba. I don't know. If anyone does know, let me know in chat if you know. what part of Canada this is? I should know. That's unfortunate, Caleb. Well, hopefully it'll be a good year. I don't know what grade you're going into, but I'd assume at least sophomore if you know about the first day of high school. Much of the country is under heat advisories. You could see those in the orange. Parts of Colorado, much of Kansas, almost the whole state of Nebraska, Iowa, and western Missouri. I believe heat index values could be reaching up to 105 in some regions, so be sure that children and the elderly are staying away from that heat because heat illness is real and it sucks. And then we have extreme heat watches for southwest Oregon and extreme northern California. Yeah, 100 to 110 degrees. Even though that's an extreme heat watch, the conditions are the same in the Midwest. It's just each National Weather Service office has different conditions. Like, for example, in Texas, you might get 2 inches of snow, and they'll issue a blizzard warning for that. And whereas in Colorado, you typically need to be getting at least 6 to 8, I feel like, for it to be a blizzard warning. That's just an example of it. If I'm not moving the radar on the computer, I'm probably keeping an eye on some other weather stuff on my phone and just checking storm reports. Nothing quite yet. I did see some posts online about a potential water spout earlier today in Canada. And we do have some severe warnings down in Louisiana. So we do have a severe warning for St. George, French Settlement, Prairieville, and this is in Louisiana. And those storms are moving south-southwest, probably at only 10, 20, 25 miles an hour. You can see they're just behind that outflow boundary. So mainly heavy rain, lightning with this, and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Little to no hail. If any hail, it's less than 3/4 of an inch. So nothing to worry about down there in Louisiana. Just seek shelter inside a sturdy building and away from windows. Avoid that lightning. And we also have some special marine warnings for storms of similar conditions. They just don't issue severe warnings off the coast that often. You gotta change your math teacher. Yeah, I wish I could have last year. Some people change teachers just because of the work that that teacher gives, but it's not about that. Looks like the hail is getting smaller on these storms, which is good. Now I'd bring it down to about quarter size or less. Math teacher was strict last year, made test and quiz 200 points. I don't like how he teaches everything is online. Yeah, that can suck. I like a mix of online and paper. So again, if you are just tuning in, we're live covering severe weather. Expecting tornadoes in North Dakota in the next hour or two. Please help me out by liking the stream and subscribing to the channel, and donations are completely optional but greatly appreciated. Well, the thing I hate about online work is that all the websites say you suck. Special weather statement near St. Mary's actually includes St. Mary's in Idaho. What is this for? Okay, pea-sized hail, definitely not happening. Radar coverage is pretty good here, and you could see that there's not even close to heavy rain. So I believe the only threat with this is 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. So just secure loose objects. Seek shelter inside a sturdy structure. Wouldn't be surprised to see some isolated lightning activity with that storm. Hello, Sean. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Hope you're doing well. For anybody else like Sean just tuning in, we have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather today. Let me pull that up. So the level 3, you can see, is in that brown shade that includes portions of eastern Montana, western Minnesota, and almost the entirety of North Dakota. So we will be live covering tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. All we're seeing right now is some severe thunderstorms starting, but our main ones haven't fired yet. So this is kind of the chill part of the stream. If you are just tuning in, be sure to like the stream. I would appreciate a subscription to the channel, and donations are completely optional but greatly appreciated. The PayPal is at Mr. Twister YT, but that's completely optional. I don't do supers through YouTube quite yet, or memberships, but I hope to get memberships going soon. Tomorrow certainly looks better for tornadoes in my opinion. Yeah, and the interesting thing is they downgraded tomorrow. I'm not sure if we ever had a 5% tornado risk, but I do know we went from enhanced to slight. So let's go over tomorrow really quick. Oh, I hit today. Yeah, 2% tornado risk for eastern South Dakota, extreme eastern North Dakota, and pretty much all of Minnesota other than the extreme southeast and southern areas of the state. That's a good question, Caleb. I'm not sure if Pete is still here, but I would be curious to see the answer to that. So once again, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We got Caleb, Pete, Sam. We had Western Ohio WX in here earlier, Larry That Lamb, and Sean. So I appreciate all of you watching the live stream. To 2% by the southern portion of the line. If air mass recovery goes well, will pose a couple tornadoes and maybe significant tornadoes possible. Yeah, we could see an isolated SIG tour. I did pull one PDS tornado sounding for tomorrow. It was actually near, I think it was near Wilmar, Minnesota. But obviously the possible hazard type doesn't mean all that much. Yeah, it has awakened, Sean. Right now, we do have Tropical Storm Dexter. We can go over that, but I do want to let you all know it does not pose any risk to the United States or really anywhere. It's in the middle of the Atlantic. It's what they call a fish storm. I'm going to get the National Hurricane Center pulled up for a second, and we'll have a look at that. Alright. Here we are. So, there's Dexter, post-tropical cyclone Dexter now. Maximum sustained winds are 60 miles an hour. I believe about 3 days ago, those were at 45 or 35, and then 45, and now 60. So you can see the track for that through next Monday, and it is not going anywhere. It is going towards Europe, but I'm not saying it poses any risk to there. But this has not impacted any regions. And if we look at everything else, we do have a disturbance here with a 20% chance of a formation in the next 7 days. But with the way it's moving, it wouldn't really impact anywhere. But that track could always change. Let's check the Central Pacific. We do have Tropical Storm Henriette, which is probably a couple hundred miles east of the islands of Hawaii. The maximum sustained winds are 45 miles per hour. And looking at the track for this, it is going to go just north of the Hawaiian Islands. They could see some rain from that though. Maybe some flooding and winds. Nothing confirmed, obviously. And then Tropical Storm Ivo, which is off the coast of Mexico and moving west. So that is posing no risk to land anytime soon. And then obviously with the Atlantic, we do have a 60% chance of formation in the next 7 days for this direction, so I'll keep you all updated on that. But we're gonna get back to Radar Omega, so give me just a second. Gotta get that window pulled back up. I don't know where it went. Where'd it go? Alright, there we are. Yep, Tropical Storm Ivo is out there too. We can do a more in-depth breakdown of that later if you all want. Caleb, I get what you're saying. Sometimes it's hard to get along with teachers' teaching strategies. I've heard good things about most of the teachers that I'm going to have this year, though. And it's also depends a bit on your outlook about it. So should be a lot of outflow bound, actually. Well, if it is an outflow boundary, it's nearly stationary over Minot. I bet you that's making the Apple weather app say that it's raining there. Today's so similar to last week's moderate, in fact, of the model uncertainty, but this time they've kept it enhanced despite the fairly high ceiling on today. Yeah, I think they got a bit tired of going moderate and then seeing nothing happen. Because, let's be honest, those past 3 damaging wind moderates, it was May 28th, I think, then we had like June 8th, and then July 28th, and none of them really verified. I might have gotten all of those dates wrong, so let me know in chat, but that's what I remember. We are currently at 1,611 subscribers, so thanks for your support, everyone. I'm going to turn off tomorrow's tornado risk. What we're going to do is we'll have the enhanced risk in the background for today on a lighter shade. How do we feel about that, everyone? It's been a while since we checked on our Montana storm. It's almost like I'm the National Weather Service office. Whenever I say they'll downgrade it to a certain hail size, they do. No, I'm kidding. The National Weather Service is much smarter, but they did downgrade that to quarter size, and these storms are moving towards Jordan, Montana, so be sure to secure loose objects Try to move cars and other things inside, and seek shelter in a sturdy building, preferably away from windows. Caleb, you can yap right now because we don't have anything too serious going on, but that'll be a different story once we start to get storms in North Dakota. All of them are crossing into Canada, though. There's this one up here, an extreme northwestern. Okay, Aaron J. Jack was going south, in fact, towards Killdeer to meet up with all the other chasers. So I mean that in a good way. I think the enhance is good and they're being precautionary. I agree with you, Larry. New severe thunderstorm warning for Billings, Montana. Might have some contamination with this, but that's right behind the outflow boundary. And look at that. That is pretty large hail. I believe that's ping pong ball, golf ball size, and yep, that's what they warned it for. Once again, I'm the National Weather Service. Just kidding, but that also has 70-mile-an-hour winds with it, and we could see that too. I could see that pocket. And yeah, those are about 70, 75-mile-an-hour winds upon first visual look. So that is moving towards Billings, likely going to impact the northern side of Billings. So secure loose objects, move cars inside, and seek shelter in a sturdy building, because this is a pretty strong storm. This is a considerable damage threat storm for Billings, Montana. This will likely impact the airport. Yeah, good for you, Caleb. Once again, if you are just tuning in here in Colorado, we have extremely dry fire weather conditions, and I was notified that our power may shut off. So if it does, the stream is going to unfortunately end itself, and it may be abrupt. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you'll know why it did end if it does. But if I decide to end off, I'll definitely let you all know. But we're going to keep going here. The microphone is still making that weird feedback noise. I have a second microphone I can switch to, but watch what happens when I switch to it. It's not nearly as loud. It's a lot more quiet, I believe. So, I mean, let me know if you all like this microphone more, but I think it's better to keep on this one, even though it has some static. Jesse, what's up, dude? Thanks for tuning into the stream. We're just waiting for storms to fire in North Dakota, but we did have a considerable severe warning issued for Billings. How's it going, dude? The Morton Bagger is here. That video is going to be so good when it comes out. Guys, I was going to start doing face cam, but YouTube's setting up a lot of new strict regulations, and I don't really want to risk the channel because I've already had bad stuff happen with it before. So when I finally did want a face reveal, it kind of backfired. Maybe we will sometime, but I don't really know if I want to risk it. Yeah, you're good, Jesse. The best videos take a while. Oh, we just gained another subscriber, 1,612. Thank you to whoever just subscribed. I really appreciate it. I do have a PayPal, guys. Donations are completely optional, but greatly appreciated. I'm going to drop that in chat for anybody who wants to be a goat. But that's seriously optional. Can't stress that enough. Wait, that's the wrong thing. You're gonna lock in, but keep the stream on for watch hours. Alright, appreciate it. Good luck on your editing. It's gonna be such a good video when it comes out. I'm actually looking forward to it. But if you are just tuning in, we do need to lock in on this storm here. Intense damaging winds. This is warned for 70, but I think we could see 75 to 80 now at this point. It is strengthening, and that damaging wind bag is heading for northern Billings, Montana, and we do have some hail that may hit the downtown. This is eventually going to impact Interstate 90, so if you are traveling on the Interstate 90 or the 94 between Laurel and Huntley, Montana, I recommend in the next 10 minutes you pull off at a gas station or somewhere and give your car some cover. Wait, Larry, is it only Americans that are affected by it? The new rule? I thought it was everyone. Also, guys, I fixed the weird glitching noise, I think, and we're still using the good mic. Yeah, the verification stuff is annoying. If I didn't fix the weird static noise, I definitely fixed it. Pretty good. So we're going to focus on this Montana storm. Doesn't have really any rotation with it at all, but it's still nonetheless a dangerous situation for Billings, Montana. What's this? Hold up. Hold up, guys. Checking storm reports on my phone to make sure we're not missing anything. I don't really see much, but we're going to keep an eye on this for the people in Billings. If we do have anyone from this area tuning in, be sure to let me know. And feel free to ask any questions. The UK put in restrictions for Reddit and inappropriate content. Ireland isn't affected yet unless our government follows along. You're the only country so far that has put restrictions on YT. I think there's definitely other things that deserve restrictions more than YouTube. Pete said, good idea, Caleb. I think Australia did too. I think I read somewhere that they did. Yeah, so this storm is moving into Billings now, so seek shelter, guys, but bring those cars in. You've got about 15-20 minutes before you need to be indoors and away from windows. Lightning, heavy rain, damaging winds, and large hail are occurring with that storm. Looks like our ping pong ball sized warm storm is moving into Canada. I think that's only about quarter-sized hail based off radar, but we are kind of far from the radar. Our risk today does stretch into central Idaho. I just noticed that. There's a very small portion, like, if you look at this, it kind of looks like a shark. The risk looked like a shark yesterday, but we lost part of it over here. But yesterday it looked like a shark. Some of you may have seen my post. It's parental fault if kids watch or stumble across inappropriate code. It's not. Well, you've got to keep in mind, algorithms literally recommend everything. How did I find Ryan Hall's stream and get interested in weather on the night of December 10th, 2021? The algorithm. I was not searching weather. I did not search for Davis's channel. any of these people pretty much. I think I found Freddy through searching for storm chasers in Colorado in 2022. But, you know, most of that stuff is recommended to them. That's how I see it. I don't know what you guys think. Speaking of Freddie McKinney, he's in Killdeer, North Dakota. We got lots of chaser convergence there. Looks like, what is this place? Probably a Love's. Not sure, but we got Storm Runner Media there, Freddie McKinney, Connor Croft, Tornado Pagey. All of them are hanging out there. Just waiting for the storms to fire. 6-7. Everyone, if you're Sigma, put 6-7 mango mustard in chat. 6-7 mango mustard. The parent doesn't put controls on it, but YT Kids isn't better either. Yeah, YouTube Kids is almost worse at sometimes, because people purposefully put, like, scary stuff on there that will traumatize kids. 6 to 7 year olds can do so too, yes. Sorry guys, we had a sister appearance. I guess dinner's ready. We made it early before the power goes out. Jesse, you know I was telling you about my internet issues? Now my power might go out. We got notified because of the high winds and dry conditions. They might turn it off around 10 o'clock. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to give you one last update on this billing storm. Then we're going to end stream, and we're going to be back later. I don't want to just pause stream for 20 minutes and make it so you all can't, like, the stream's just sitting here, because that makes it feel fake. Like, the amount of time that I've been live doesn't matter. We've been live for 52 minutes, so this storm is moving into Billings with probably around quarter to $half sized hail and damaging winds. So seek shelter inside a sturdy building. Put your cars in a shelter like a garage or an overhang or whatever they call it. And secure loose objects and seek shelter away from windows inside a sturdy building. That is going to be the end of this stream. I should be back soon, and we'll go live again. I'll probably go live again when we get our first tornado warning. So, we will be back soon. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.